Everyone on campus thought my wallet was permanently stuffed with old dining hall napkins and maybe a little pocket lint. On the surface, they were right. But on my phone, hidden behind a boring, unassuming calculator icon, was a banking app. And inside that app, a balance was quietly, secretly sneaking past the $20,000 mark. This wasn't lottery money. It wasn't a handout from my parents. It was the result of a 4-year-long secret mission I ran on myself. If you want the real numbers, the exact repeatable steps, and the mindset that got me there, all without living like a monk and missing out on college, then stick around. We're opening the vault. Section 1, broke on paper, not in practice. I looked textbook broke and I played the part perfectly. I had the frayed JanSport backpack from freshman year, the spider-webbed phone screen I refused to fix, and a standing Friday night date with the same $5 pizza slice. My roommate once picked up my debit card and joked, "Dude, I think this thing is weeping." I just laughed, because the louder my broke student persona looked, the quieter and faster my savings account grew. Let's talk stats for a second. The average college student graduates with about $3,200 in their checking account, a little buffer before the real world hits. I crossed the graduation stage with 6 times that, not because I was smarter, but because I saw the world differently. The trick was learning to treat my entire campus like a giant Monopoly board. Every building, every bulletin board cluttered with flyers, every forgotten Facebook group was a potential income square, an opportunity. While my friends saw a library, I saw a free office with high-speed internet. While they saw a student union, I saw a goldmine of free food events. It's about a fundamental shift from being a consumer on campus to being an operator. Section 2, the mindset that makes money stick. Before we get into the tactics, the furniture flipping and the tutoring, we have to talk about the internal shift, the money mindset, because without it, any extra cash you make will just evaporate. I boiled my financial life down to 3 rules. I wrote them on a neon pink sticky note, stuck it right above my desk, and repeated them every single morning while my cheap, groaning Keurig brewed my coffee. First, money's a roommate, not a one-night stand. Think about it. If you had a good roommate, you'd treat them with respect, right? You'd communicate. You'd make sure they were taken care of. You wouldn't just ignore them or throw their stuff on the floor. I started treating my money the same way. Every dollar that came in was given a name and a job. It was a partner in this project, and I had to hold up my end of the bargain, treat it with respect, and it stays. Second, time compounds faster than interest. Now, this isn't literally true in a mathematical sense, but it's psychologically true. The habit of saving $10 today is infinitely more powerful than the vague promise you'll save $100 sometime next year. Starting the action, creating the neural pathway, is the whole game. Getting that initial momentum is what builds the snowball. A small, consistent habit today beats a large, inconsistent intention tomorrow every single time. And third, the most important rule, track it or trash it. This was my non-negotiable. If I couldn't look at my week and name exactly where every dollar went, I felt I had lost the right to spend the next one. It sounds harsh, but it created radical accountability. I used a simple notes app on my phone, no fancy software needed. At the end of the day, I'd take 60 seconds to log my spending. $3 on coffee, $7 on a burrito. If I knew where it went, I was in control. If I didn't, the money was controlling me. By midterms, these rules were memorized. By finals, they were a reflex. Section 3, furniture flipping, trash night treasure. Here's the first major income stream, my favorite side hustle, trash night treasure hunting. Here's the play-by-play. My university was surrounded by affluent neighborhoods, the kind with big, beautiful houses. I did a little research and found out their bulk trash collection day was Friday morning. That meant Thursday night was payday. Around 8 p.m. every Thursday, I'd hop on my bike and ride through these neighborhoods. I wasn't looking for junk, I was looking for gold. Solid wood nightstands, old dressers, forgotten mid-century modern coffee tables. My rule was, it had to have good bones, and it had to be small enough to fit in the back of an Uber XL, which I'd call once I found a piece. I'd get it back to my dorm, and the work began. I had a small refinishing kit that cost me $12 at the hardware store, some sandpaper, a small can of stain, and a rag. A little sanding, a fresh coat of stain, and suddenly a scuffed-up table looked like something from a boutique. I'd take clean, well-lit photos and post them on OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace. My titles were always keyword-focused: dorm-friendly desk, small space nightstand, easy pickup tonight. Let's crunch the numbers on a typical flip. The item itself cost $0. The Uber was maybe $10. The stain kit was a one-time purchase. I could reliably sell a piece for around $85. Do one of those a week, and that's an extra $280 to $320 a month. My best flip ever was this incredible leather wingback chair I found on the curb. It had a nasty crack in the leather, so everyone passed it by. I spent 2 hours working in some leather conditioner I borrowed from a friend, used a staple gun I borrowed from the theater department to fix a loose strap on the bottom, and sold it for $225 the next day. I did this for 6 semesters, taking summers off. Let's be conservative and say I flipped 72 pieces with an average profit of $90 each. That's $6,480. That's nearly a third of my entire savings goal, and all it really cost me was a few hours of my time and some Thursday night beer pong. Section 4. Online tutoring, turning A's into cash. This was the financial engine of the whole operation. Now, I wasn't some organic chemistry genius. My real skill wasn't being the smartest person in the room. It was being reliable. I showed up on time every time, and I answered emails fast. That's 90% of the battle. I made a profile on Wisent, a popular online tutoring platform. I filmed a simple 1-minute intro video on my phone, propped up against a stack of textbooks. I just smiled, said what classes I could help with, and emphasized that I was patient and organized. I set my initial rate at a modest $25 an hour. I felt like a fraud asking for that much, but I clicked the button anyway. Here was my strategy. For every 10 positive reviews or sessions I completed, I bumped my price up by $5. It was a slow, methodical climb. By my senior year, I was comfortably charging $55 an hour. My peak month, right before midterms, I clocked 28 hours of tutoring. At a blended rate of around $50 an hour, that was $1,400 in a single month. Over the 30 active months of my college career, I grossed about $18,200 from tutoring alone. The platform took a percentage, and I bought a $20 whiteboard from the Dollar Tree, so let's say I cleared $16,100. The best part? It was like a buy one, get one free deal for my own education. Explaining a concept to someone else is the single best way to master it yourself. I was getting paid to study, and it reinforced my own coursework, helping me secure good grades. Section 5, Smart Spending, the invisible income. Here's a hard truth. You can't out-earn dumb spending. All the side hustle money in the world won't help you if it's flying out the door just as fast. So I built a system not just to make money, but to keep it. I automated my savings using the classic 50-30-20 budget. 50% of my income for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings. The crucial difference, that 20% was taken off the top, not scraped from the leftovers at the end of the month. The moment my work-study check landed in my primary checking account, I had an automatic transfer set up. $120 would instantly move to my secret savings account at a completely different bank. I never saw it. I never had a chance to think about spending it. And because of that, I never missed it. I also downloaded the free Fidelity app and opened a simple investment account. I turned on the Roundup feature. Every time I bought something with my debit card, that $3 coffee, that $7 burrito, the app would round the purchase up to the nearest dollar and invest the spare change into a total market index fund. It was literally pennies at a time, but those pennies invested and left to grow added up. Finally, there was the shameless, systematic pursuit of free food. My Google Calendar looked like a class schedule, but half the entries were for campus events with free pizza, free tacos, or free coffee. During Hispanic Student Union Week, I think I ate free tacos 3 nights in a row. $0, zero shame. My friends would be spending $15 on delivery while I was eating for free and texting them from a club meeting. Those micro moves, the automated savings, the investment roundups, the free food, conservatively saved me about $2,700 over 4 years. When you factor in the market gains on those roundups, we're probably talking closer to $3,200. Section 6. Squeezing free college resources. Dry. Every university is leaking money in the form of underutilized resources that students pay for in their tuition but almost never use. I made it my mission to find those leaks and put a bucket under them. For example, our university gave every student a $40 printing quota per semester. Most students used maybe half of that. During Career Fair Week, I posted a flyer near the library printers. Last minute resume edits and printing, $5. Panicked students would email me their resumes. I'd make a few quick formatting tweaks and use my free quota to print them 10 beautiful copies on the nice cardstock paper. It was a tiny $5 transaction, but I could do 10 of them in an afternoon. The campus gym was another goldmine. We all got one free personal training session per semester. I didn't care about the workout, I wanted the connection. I befriended the trainer, a guy named Mark. I asked him about his job, how he got into it. A few weeks later, he messaged me. A local yoga studio needed someone to sub at the front desk for a few hours. It paid $20 an hour in cash just to check people in. I ended up on his short list for those kinds of gigs. And finally, the library. Our library offered free access to LinkedIn Learning, a massive platform with courses on everything. I binged tutorials on advanced Excel functions. Then I went back to my Wisent tutoring profile and added advanced data analysis and Excel modeling to my list of skills and promptly upcharged an extra $10 an hour for it. Little drips, one by one, fill the bucket much faster than waiting for one big fire hose. Section 7, balancing hustle, grades, and a social pulse. Reading all this, you might think I was a hermit who never saw the light of day. But I never ever pulled an all-nighter for a class on a Tuesday. My guiding rule was simple: grind Monday through Wednesday, glide Thursday through Sunday. A typical Monday was intense: class, library, 2 tutoring sessions, maybe a quick furniture sanding job before bed. But because I front-loaded my week, my weekends were mostly free. My professors saw me, alert and in the front row, on Tuesdays. My friends saw me, relaxed and singing off-key, at karaoke on Fridays. I batch cooked a huge pot of quinoa and chicken on Sundays, which saved me from the temptation of buying $12 burritos on campus during busy days. I strategically scheduled my tutoring sessions to have lulls around my own midterms and finals. It worked. I graduated with a 3.6 GPA, made the dean's list twice, and still had the time and money for a proper spring break road trip with my friends. And the best part? That trip was funded entirely by the couch change and small bills I'd made from a couple of furniture flips. That feeling of paying for gas with money I had literally pulled from the trash was a thrill I'll never forget. Section 8, the final math. So let's lay it all out and see how we get to the magic number. This is the part I had saved as a screenshot, the password to which is in my mom's safe. First, the furniture flipping. That steady Thursday night hustle brought in a solid $6,480. Next, the big one, my online tutoring business. After platform fees and expenses, that netted a staggering $16,100. Then came the invisible income from smart spending hacks and investment roundups, which added another $3,200 to the pot. The random campus micro hustles like printing resumes and checking people into yoga tacked on about $1,320. My baseline work-study job paid for my day-to-day bills and textbooks, so I don't even include that in the savings tally. Add it all up, and you get $27,100. From that, I subtracted the real costs of life that pop up, things like flights home for the holidays, a new laptop when mine finally died, and just general miscellaneous expenses. That came to about $7,100 over 4 years. And the net total stacked in that secret account, $20,000, right on the nose. Now I want to hear from you. Drop the weirdest or most creative thing you've ever sold for cash in the comments below. I'm going to reply to the first 50. And yes, to this day, I am still hiding my main savings behind that calculator icon app. Your starter blueprint feeling overwhelmed? Don't be. You don't have to do all of this at once. The key is momentum. Pick one of these 3 things and do it today. List a skill you can tutor. It doesn't have to be rocket science. Even introductory Spanish or helping someone write a basic essay counts. Overcome that little voice that says you're not an expert. Just be one chapter ahead. Post a profile on a tutoring site tonight. Go find something to flip. Walk your dorm's trash room or your apartment's recycling area. Grab one single lamp or a small end table, even if it's ugly. Sand it, snap a decent picture in good lighting, and list it for $20. The goal isn't to get rich, it's to prove it can be done. Open a second checking or savings account, preferably at a different bank than your main one. Nickname it Do Not Touch or Future Freedom. Set up an automatic transfer for just $25 to move tomorrow. The amount is less important than creating the pipeline. Momentum always beats perfection. I started this entire journey with one busted nightstand and a $12 can of stain. You just have to start. If a light bulb just flickered in your head while watching this, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Because next week I'm going to show you the next chapter of the story. How I funneled that $20,000 into a fully funded Roth IRA before my first real paycheck even hit. If you thought this was powerful, just wait. The phrase compound interest is about to become your absolute favorite phrase in the English language. When the app finally showed that number, $20,000, I didn't pop champagne. I didn't buy a fancy watch. I did what I did most other days. I walked to the student union, bought the same $4 burrito bowl, and sat down at a sticky table. I looked at the number on my phone, then I looked at the students all around me, laughing, stressing, living, and I realized the loudest flex, the most powerful statement of success, is the one that nobody else hears. It's the quiet confidence of knowing you have a foundation. Your 20 grand might look like 5,000 or it might look like 50. The final digit matters so much less than the habit loop you forged to get there. Start whispering your own numbers. Start building your own quiet victory. Soon enough, those numbers will start to speak for themselves.